Creating a magic ring is the key to starting your crochet project. Let me show you how to begin with the first step. Start by grabbing a piece of cotton yarn. Hold the yarn tail in your right hand. Now, turn your left hand so the palm faces you, with fingers spread wide. Wrap the yarn around your pinky from front to back, then bring it between your middle and index fingers. Loop the yarn behind your index finger and bring it back toward your palm. Finally, pinch the yarn between your thumb and middle finger to secure it in place. With your right hand, hold the yarn tail and adjust the length as needed. Now, form a loop by bringing the yarn from right to left, making sure that the yarn tail lies on top of the loop. Next, pick up your crochet hook, with the hook facing outward. Insert the hook through the loop. You should see a yarn loop on the hook at this point. Now, use the hook to grab the yarn between your index finger and thumb, and gently pull it through the loop. Here, it's important to rotate the hook turnet from facing outward to inward toward yourself, and pull the yarn all the way through the loop. You'll now have a loop on your hook. Make sure this loop isn't too tight, leaving enough room so the hook can move through the yarn smoothly. Now, return to your normal crochet hold. With the hook positioned above the yarn, insert the hook under the yarn. Catch it from behind, and slowly pull it through the loop on your hook. If done correctly, you should still have one loop on your hook. At this stage, when you release the loop with your left hand, it should remain intact. Congratulations! You've completed the first step of the magic ring. But we're not done yet. We'll now continue crocheting several stitches into this magic ring to start forming the base of your project. You can control the tension of the loop on your hook using your index finger. Relax your grip with your left hand, and position your thumb and index finger wherever feels comfortable for you as you continue crocheting. Now, hold the hook with your right hand and insert it through the loop in your left hand. You should see 3 strands of yarn on the hook. If so, you're doing it correctly. Next, pass the hook under the yarn. Grab it, and pull the yarn through the loop on your left hand, bringing it back to the starting position. At this point, you'll have 2 loops on your hook. Adjust your left-hand grip to find a more comfortable position. I recommend holding the yarn a bit higher, which can make crocheting easier. Now, you'll see the hook is positioned above the yarn again. Just like before, insert the hook under the yarn, grab it from behind, and slowly pull the yarn through both loops on the hook. With that, you've completed your first crochet stitch in the magic ring. If you look from the side, you'll notice the yarn forms a V shape. This is called a stitch, the smallest unit in crochet. For beginners, it's helpful to place a stitch marker here, so you can easily count your stitches and track your progress. When using a stitch marker, make sure to grab both strands of yarn from the top of the stitch. Now go ahead and place your stitch marker in the correct spot, just like this. Pick up your hook again and insert it through the top loop, returning to your normal crochet hold. Now, let's move on to the second stitch, which is made the same way as the first. Insert the hook through the loop on your left hand, pass it under the yarn, grab the yarn, and pull it through the loop. Return to your regular crocheting position with 2 loops on the hook. Again, pass the hook under the yarn, catch it from behind, and slowly pull the yarn through both loops. That completes your second stitch. If you look from the side, you'll now see 2 V-shaped stitches, meaning you've completed 2 stitches. Typically, in the first round of circular crochet, we work 6 stitches. Now that we've completed the first 2, let's continue and finish the remaining 4. The process is the same as the first 2 stitches. Great! As you can see, we've now finished all 6 stitches. Let's remove the hook and count our stitches. Here's a quick tip. The loop on the hook doesn't count as a stitch. Starting from the top, we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. If yours looks like this, then you're right on track. Next, we'll form this into a circle. Gently pull on the yarn tail with your left hand, and you'll notice that the long shape begins to form a semicircle. Keep pulling the yarn tail until the stitches tighten up into a full circle. Now, pick up your hook again and insert it through the top loop. Wrap the yarn around your left hand, returning to your standard crochet position. We'll finish this round with a slip stitch. For the slip stitch, you'll connect the hook to the first stitch where the stitch marker is placed. Insert the hook under both strands of yarn from the first stitch with the marker. At this point, you can remove the stitch marker since it has served its purpose. Now, grab the yarn between your thumb and index finger and pull it through both loops on the hook in one go. Return to your standard crochet hold. To make this slip stitch tighter, gently pull the yarn with your left hand. A tight slip stitch will help improve the overall look of your project. And there you have it. You've just completed a 6-stitch magic ring.